ghosted, when someone suddenly cuts off all communication with you without any explanation, tends to stir up some pretty intense feelings, even if the relationship wasn't long or especially close. Don't think you're crazy if you feel upset about being ghosted. In fact, the distress that this experience causes is tied to several really well documented psychological mechanisms. So, ghosting isn't painful because of the silence from the other person alone. It's painful because it disrupts your fundamental psychological need for connection and understanding and control and even closure. Now, I wrote about being ghosted several years ago when it happened to me. And that post remains one of my most popular on my blog. And the YouTube video on the same topic receives more views than any other video I've published to date. So obviously, being ghosted concerns and upsets us. And I mean, it's really not a laughing matter, but it does. It really upsets us. And so we go searching for a way to understand and to heal from the experience. And so, with this in mind, I decided to revisit the topic and offer a slightly different perspective on why the experience is so upsetting. My next video will be on some ways to help you heal from being ghosted. Okay, so from a psychological perspective, there are at least 7 reasons why being ghosted causes so much pain and suffering. So the first is that it's a violation of kind of social expectations and norms. Humans are wired for what we call social reciprocity. You expect mutual acknowledgement, which means you assume your friends feel the same way. And you presume that when you recognize and validate another's feelings or perspective, they're going to do the same. And you also expect to be treated the way you treat others. And so this social reciprocity fosters trust and respect, but it also fosters expectations that the other person is going to act the same way that you do or feel the same way you do. So when someone vanishes without explanation, it violates the basic social rule of communication. In fact, there is no communication. There's no reason provided for, because there's no conversation. So you don't get a reason because there's no conversation. They just cut off all communication with you. Now, the person who ghosts you acts unpredictably, which activates anxiety within you. Your brain craves coherence and patterns for things to be the same, which explains why you so badly want to understand why the person abruptly ended the relationship. Your brain wants to understand the pattern. Number 2, rejection and threat to self-esteem. You can blame your brain for your obsession with why you were ghosted. Ghosting triggers the same neural pathways as physical pain. The other person's abrupt silence often feels like a personal rejection, even if it isn't. And without an explanation, your mental chatter fills the never-ending pause that was created by this person leaving with negativity. You're going to ask yourself questions like, what did I do wrong? Or even, what's wrong with me? Why would, am I not worthy or deserving of an explanation? Constant rumination on self-blame, all the things you could have done to cause the person to ghost you, leads to lowered self-esteem. And that leaves you feeling as if being ghosted is your fault and there's something wrong with you. Okay, number 3 is ambiguous loss. Psychologist Pauline Boss coined the term ambiguous loss for losses without closure, like when someone is missing but not confirmed death, like there's an accident or something and the person's missing but they're not actually confirmed to be dead. Ghosting creates an ambiguous loss because the relationship feels gone but not definitively ended. Again, there's no closure. So the ambiguity prevents emotional resolution. It leaves you stuck between hope and grief. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll start to talk to me again. Maybe they'll change their mind and be my friend again or whatever. And so, you think those kind of thoughts simultaneously while you're grieving the lost relationship. Now, number 4 is cognitive dissonance. When someone's actions contradict their previous words or behavior, it creates cognitive dissonance, which is an uncomfortable mental state. Ghosting causes cognitive dissonance because someone you know and like disappears after previously showing affection and connection with you. Then you, the ghosted person, struggle to reconcile the conflicting signals that were given by that other person. And that leads to confusion and obsessive thinking. Your thoughts continually focus on the person and what happens. You're ruminating over that person and what happened. I can tell you, I still sometimes, when I drive past this person's street, think about them and wonder what happened. Anyway, number 5, attachment activation. As humans, we become attached to other people. Ghosting really strongly activates attachment systems in our psychology. So, for example, you may tend towards what's called anxious attachment, which is a pattern of insecure attachment characterized by a strong desire for closeness and intimacy, coupled with a fear of abandonment and rejection. If that's something you tend towards, this anxious attachment, ghosting could cause you to panic, to feel a fear of abandonment, and to overanalyze the situation. On the other hand, maybe you're someone who has what's called avoidant attachment, an insecure attachment style characterized by discomfort with emotional intimacy and a strong need for independence. In that case, you are going to probably feel angry or withdraw, but you still experience the distress of being ghosted. Even securely attached people feel shaken because ghosting undercuts the basic sense of relational safety. Number 6 is loss of control and closure. When you're given no opportunity to ask questions, get answers, or say goodbye to someone, like to ask questions or get answers about why, right? Or to say goodbye, you're stripped of your agency. You can't control the situation in any way. You can't control how you feel in any way. Well, that's how it seems. The other person has removed themselves from your relational sphere. You can't bring them back into it because you can't speak to or reason with them. You can't ask them why. And that fact causes upset because you lack closure in the relationship. Humans regulate emotions partly by making sense of experiences, and ghosting denies that process because the relationship ends suddenly and with no discussion, explanation, or conclusion. And that leaves you stuck in an unresolved emotional loop. Okay, number 7 is social identity and shame. In close relationships, our sense of identity is partly co-constructed with the other person. We have a sense of we-ness that connects us. So when someone ghosts you, it can feel like part of your identity is suddenly erased. It's taken away by the other person when they leave, and you're no longer part of the we. And you're rejected and alone. And that's why ghosting also can result in feeling ashamed. You fear that others now see you as not worth responding to, being friends with, or associating with. You're somehow not who you were before. It's as if you are suddenly a leper or an outcast. Your brain is saying that. It's saying something must be wrong with you, and you're afraid that other people think the same thing about you. But really, it's as if your identity is shifted. You don't know who you are without the other person. Now, what I want to tell you is you've got good reason to be upset. By now, you probably realize that an understanding of why you feel so upset about being ghosted is going to help you stop blaming yourself. Place the fault on your human psychology, not yourself. Or realize that being ghosted says more about the other person than it does about you. I spoke about that in my other video, which I will link to at the end of this video. Your brain is going to try to help you deal with the experience of being ghosted by creating all kinds of stories, narratives that aren't true, like it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I don't deserve good relationships, whatever that story is for you. And that causes you to feel as if you're a bad person who doesn't deserve a caring relationship or to be treated with respect, because ghosting isn't respectful at all. And when someone leaves you without an explanation or closure, it's natural to feel hurt, betrayed, and confused. It is, but you can move through this experience and trust people and feel confident in your relationship decisions again. And as I said, in my next video, next week, I'll talk about ways to heal from this. I did talk about that in the first video, which I'm going to post up above here. And I had a different perspective 3 years ago, but what I talked about then is as valid now as it was then. But I will add some healing tips and tools next week. All right, so tell me, have you been ghosted, and how did you deal with it? How did you feel? How did you deal with it? Did today's video help you understand why you were so upset and hurt? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment down below. If you're new to me, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am an author and author coach. I'm an intuitive transformational coach, and I'm a certified high performance coach. I love helping people get from where they are to where they want to go by getting out of their own way, by stepping into being someone who can take the actions that create the things that matter to them. I'd like to help them combine their purpose and their passion so they get inspired and take inspired action and get the kind of inspired results they're looking for that helps them create what matters to them. So if these kind of things are of interest to you, if you're interested in personal and spiritual growth and transformation, and you're feeling stuck or in need of some help stepping into being your best self, stepping into being the kind of person who can achieve your goals and realize your dreams, then click on the link above that explains 3 different ways to work with me. And right after that, there's another link that offers you a free 15-minute session with me to talk about my coaching programs and what you want or need, how I could help you. And we can just chat and see if we're a good fit to work together. Okay? Yeah, I think that's it. Being ghosted is not a fun experience. I really struggled with it, which is why I wrote a blog post and shot a video about it a few years ago. So I feel for you if you're here because you were ghosted. Really, I do. I feel for you. But I hope this video helps you at least understand why being ghosted is so hard to deal with. Anyway, that's it for today. Click on the links above if you would like to work with me or to have a chat. And until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.